And welcome back to Project Stargate Fringe Research. We have here with us today Greg Ship and Jake Malcolm, my co-hosts, and we have a special guest on the line with us. His name is Brother Wade from the Brother Wade podcast. He is a awesome Joe Rogan style talk about anything podcaster and talk show host. And I was fortunate enough to be a guest on his program recently, and I've been wanting to have a chance to collaborate with him. I've really enjoyed fellowship with him, and we have. Without further ado, I want to introduce Brother Wade. Brother Wade, welcome to Project Stargate, and thank you so much for being with us.
Yes, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to help you guys as well.
So, Brother Wade, to my understanding is you are on location somewhere right now. Tell us what's going on.
I'm in a place called Shenango Valley State Park. The history of the place, my friend Joe could probably tell you a little bit more about it, but there has been, where I am right now, several things that people see, including two Bigfoot sightings last year. However, one of them, I do think it probably was somebody playing games, but I'm up here today to see if we can find the shadows again. I have seen them. We've also heard, I have a recording somewhere in my archives at home of some kind of a roar. The only way I can describe it is if you've ever heard a panther roar, which in any case, there would be no panthers out here except for cougars. And I was told if a cougar was hunting me or following me on the path, they would not make a noise until they pounced on me. So
Wow.
it's in the area I'm in is called Lily Lake. It is named after a glacier area here, I guess, is the tale they tell, so to speak, of a large glacier that melted, if you believe some of that stuff. However, I'm walking around looking for these shadow things that they say was, and somebody was just mentioning that there's elementals up here too. I don't know if anybody knows about them, but yeah, I'm here. So
Tell us what an
uh,
elemental is. For those for our listeners and viewers who don't know, aren't familiar with that term, can you kind of give a description of what that type of entity is?
yeah, an elemental is something that is a spirit. I guess it's tied to the earth or tied to what I consider to be the universe in some way. They can include fairies, trolls. Um, they can include other things that the Native Americans spoke about. I have never seen them here, but I was just talking to some people that do hike here often, and they were very interested in the paranormal investigations that I do. And they were telling me about how they think there is some up here. Now, a lot of times, there is often many different things in nature that we cannot explain. So, you know.
Yeah, Greg, Jake, it looks like we're sailing right back into the unknown tonight. We are here with Brother Wade from the Brother Wade podcast. And Brother Wade, before let me ask you this question: what type of equipment are you guys using today? What type of equipment did you take out in the
Uh,
field?
just a handful of stuff I shoved in my backpack. I was originally supposed to go to my daughter's birthday party, which I did go to that. She turns 14 tomorrow, and I decided that possibly to show her some stuff. She wanted to see some stuff. So I just grabbed what I have. What I have here is the EVP recorder. It's a Tascam recorder, basically.
Would you
And
please
then I
wish
have
her a happy birthday on behalf of Project Stargate? Please, would you wish her a happy birthday from us,
I
please?
I will when I see her again. I definitely will do that.
Thank you.
Um, and I have my camcorder here that I bought originally to just videotape whatever. I mean, it's a normal camcorder, nothing special about it. My special one is at home, but it's broke because of a paranormal investigation we went on. So, and I also have my electric meter here that senses electrical energies and lights up. I forgot. It's a gauge meter type thing. It's originally used for electrical currents in walls. So if you're doing construction and you have this thing and find something, it would consider it to be a danger for yourself. And I have found that it does a lot better than some of the other equipment that's out there.
Something. You and Jake should compare notes on this stuff. Jake,
well,
you want to jump in, Jake?
Yeah, I mean, it all sounds pretty close to what I would bring out there. I also have a Zoom recorder, which is basically if you're looking at Tascam and Zoom, you're comparing, Ford and Chevy. It's just a brand preference at that point. So same thing, single channel recorder, EMF detectors as well. We've never used a voltmeter out there, but I like that idea. That's a good idea. Taking that out there. One thing we use a lot are laser grids, or even just a laser line to see if something walks through or breaks the grid or line.
Unfortunately, you're not allowed to have them up here because of the deer and the animals. Which I've never known an animal to not. I don't know what the problem is, but it was a rule. Some kids were playing with sight lasers on animals. You know how they are.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I would like to take a grid out here. I would like to do some other experiments. I would like to build myself a portal. However, I'm very skeptic of it. I don't know even if there's a word better than skeptic about portals and about some of the research that had just come back out on it. But I wouldn't mind trying it out here.
How do you build a portal?
Well, there's many ways to, or the theory of a portal is you have some scanning device, AM/FM scanner, TV frequency, a AM/FM radio frequency, and it scans the channels repeatedly, and then a noise gate or noise control device is connected to that, and then that is put into an amplifier, making it so the train noise, as we call it, the choo-choo train, but all the static would not be heard, and therefore the voices would come through, and then people wrap crystals around them and stuff. But I'm highly skeptic because not one has taken it apart and shown anybody evidence. Any of my equipment, I will take it apart even if I break it to show you that we're not, it's not being scammed. A lot of people have put audio pods in there and pre-recorded stuff for shows and stuff. We found somebody doing that on an public investigation I went to. He was bragging that he had these things, and then all of a sudden the same things he was bragging about appeared on the thing, and I'm thinking to myself, this room is supposed to have a demon in it, and you have women speaking to us through the portal, but I'm experimenting. I've always experimented with the equipments that are out there and different ways of doing stuff. One, because I'm skeptic. Two, because I'm curious. And three, because I think there's always different ways of doing this field, and we have to stay on it. We have to always find different ways, always find different things to discuss and learn about and educate ourselves with. So that's my newest thing is either I'm going to prove it or disprove it, or I'm going to end up owning one. Either way, I'd like one. I would like to experiment with it. I have found my experiments have been dangerous. I experimented on a Ouija board gate system to see if something could come through, and we had to sage the house and get rid of something. But that is part of the field. That is part of the field, and I do it with extreme caution. Whatever it was would have never got to me. But I do brag. I'm 6'3", 326 pounds. So I kind of bragged that if it did come through, there's nothing that I can't, stop. So but I have been sometimes mistaken. I did have a demon one time in church after praying over somebody put me through a wall. So sometimes bragging might not be the safest bet. And if anybody's out there listening to this, do not try it. I have 21 years of experience, and I've been at this interest since I was probably about 7 years old. So I have enough experience to know when to quit, unplug everything from the wall, and that's the end of it. And I've done it many a times when I thought something dangerous was happening, just unplug it from the wall and everything shut down. And I also ruined 2 of my recorders because of that. They no longer record. And we call them the convention handouts, because they don't work anymore. So you can hand them to the public and let the public look at them and whatever. So they become kind of convention displays of our equipment, examples of our equipment. So,
Wow.
And if you hear noises behind me, it's because everybody's staring at me, and they're kind of like wondering why I'm talking on the phone, but that's okay.
Before we go any further, brother Wade, Greg, do you have you want to get in some Q&A real quick?
You mentioned an elemental. That name does sound familiar. I've heard that name being used in one case in the Irish Republic, Left Castle and Count Offaly. They have a spirit called the elemental there. It was described as sort of like a very short, black, kind of like Golem from Lord of the Rings type creature. They mentioned that, and it had like a really nasty type of rotting meat like smell. They don't know if it's someone that died there or if it was sort of like a residual spirit from a lot of the people that died, perished on those grounds. But that's what came to mind when you mentioned that name.
Yeah, I do believe that stuff could. I mean, I believe what you're describing might also be a pugwudgie or a gnome. Mm-hmm. Some people do describe them as elves, and not the elves of Dungeons and Dragons. We're talking about like the elves that helped make shoes and were very mischievous. Mm-hmm. But it's pretty interesting that it's an all-black, shadowy-like creature. That kind of impresses me a little, because a lot of people describe shadow people. Mm-hmm. And if, in fact, a shadow person is an elemental, then we may have a whole nother field to work with here that will open up for us.
Most definitely.
So give us if you don't mind, Brother Wade, a good question and good thoughts, Greg. Thank you for adding to that. But what are your how far back has this activity been going on in this area, to your knowledge? What kind of history are we talking about?
Well, my friend Joe is here. He could probably give a better history of this park than I could.
Sure. If he'd like to talk, we'd love to talk to him as well.
What's the history of the park, Joe? What's
park along the Shenango River?
Hello, Joe. How are you?
Shenango River going out of Binghamton, New York. And part of the park up beside the Shenango has 2 lakes that are formed by the glaciers. The glaciers receded and they left Shenango Lake. Then they left a pile of Lake Moraine, a high pile. And on the other side of that high pile, or esker, was Lily Lake. And also in the woods are hollows throughout the woods that were created when the glacier melted, left potholes, or kettle holes, they're called. It's a very unique park because of the glacial formation. I've been coming here since I was 5 years old. I learned to swim here.
And that would be 1950, probably 1951.
Yeah.
Wow. So
you the 1930s, 20s is when it probably opened. 1937, the park was officially made into a park, and during the Depression. So even before that time, it was a place of hiking and stuff. And I just took 2 pictures for you as well. And one of them shows these massive potholes that we have that he called potholes.
If you want to send them to any pictures you want to share on the show here on the video version for our viewers, you can message me on Facebook and I can show them. I can share them if you'd like.
Yes, I've taken 2 pictures here of a pathway that I have been on where I heard the growling and the disturbing noises. There's also
That's creepy.
island. There's also an island in the middle of the place that is part of this glacier type situation. And I just took a picture of in front of me and in back of me of how dense these woods are. So, and I have seen deer. I have seen little things jumping around. I don't know what they would be called. I don't know what they would be. However, whatever it was. And it's very interesting, like you said, I don't know if you know earth sciences, but all their glaciers or the impressions of these things are, many things could live here. And I would suspect the park ranger, I mean, I'm not getting into conspiracies about if the park rangers know it or not, but they could just leave it alone and it could live here very peacefully, I would assume. And nothing, maybe it's a safe haven for them or something. I don't know.
Now, one more time, what was the name of this park?
Shenango Valley State Park.
Shenango Valley State Park. Got it.
In Shenango Valley or Shenango, if you type in Shenango Forks and follow Route 88 up the highway on the map, you'll get into the area where the park is. And it's an absolutely wonderful forested area, wooded area, what I call a natural setting. And it's a natural mix between humans and nature. And to my knowledge, I don't think anything ever is bothered. I've never heard of anything being out of place. I've never heard of anything being taken for granted, so to speak, or disrespected out in this area. And Shenango Forks and Shenango Forks, the town, the little town, I've been to 2 paranormal investigations there myself. It also has a lock system out here. We were the lower part of the lock that came into Binghamton, New York, all the way up to the Erie Canal system there, back when that was active. There's a lot of history around here as well. And as we all know, that does create sometimes I guess you would spiritual portal or spiritual demand, as I call it, for spirits to want to stay around and for spirits to be left alone, so to speak, in the environment where they passed away. And the land was owned privately for a farm for a while as well. Now it's some trailer parks and some other things around it that the state owns, I guess, the land there. But it's a very unique setting.
Brother Wade, I just want to let you know I got those photographs and I got them pulled up. I'm going to screen share these real quick if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
All right.
The area of the pavilion where the eatery is, like, where you would have a wedding or something. That's what they primarily use this place for. It's set up for, a house there and the bathrooms and that other area over there is where the shadows are seen. And then on the back of me, where I took pictures of the woods and the paths, is where somebody said they saw a ape out there. Now they were joking and said there's no such thing as an ape. Also the park, I asked the park, I know somebody who works here. She said, yeah, they've had some college kids fooling around trying to make a movie or something. However, the other description of the ape was not somebody fooling around. So that's one, and I've heard other stories. So Joe is taking me to another area.
I'm going to put these pictures up on our Facebook page when we make a post about you. Is that okay?
In the New York State Park brochures, as well as anybody's listening. Wow, I'm gonna hit the garbage. So
is there? Let me ask you this while you're walking. Is this area? Is there any history of other types of paranormal stuff like UFOs or haunted locations and stuff like that? Is there? Have you ever heard of anything else like that?
Well,
Brother Wade?
yeah, I'm here. I'm trying to help him back up, but he's going to hit his mirror in any minute. So he needs to.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. We'll wait.
Because it's a parking lot here, and that's the only thing that's bad about this is the parking. But if you count the parking being bad, that's the definition of it all. Now, yeah, he's out. Now, what I was also wanting to say with those pictures is, for a naturist and somebody that knows nature better than I do, because I really don't know. I don't hike. I don't camp that much. This place is an absolute wonderful trove for that.
It's beautiful. It's very. We looked at a couple of these pictures and we saw that pavilion. We saw a nice pavilion, and but those other pictures I looked at one of the other ones you sent me that where you were describing how dense the woods is. It's very dense. It's extremely dense.
Joe just told me it's about a foot. Yeah. Many of the trees were planted by the engineer corps and stuff. So it's not original growth. However, speaking of an environment for a creature to live, I think it's one of the most excellent ones I've seen.
Yeah, it is beautiful out there. It looks kind of like the North Georgia area that I live near. It looks kind of like that.
And I just sent another one to you of the Lily Lake area. It's really horrible to see it focused on it, but it is, evidence of a rural structure. That lake goes all the way around the entire thing. I've been on it several times.
Let me pull that one up real quick, Brother Wade.
Now, he had some other questions for me that he wanted to ask me.
Yeah. Greg, did you have any more questions?
No.
Jake, you're on then. Jake, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I said no.
Oh, okay. You're good. No Q&A.
No, nope. He answered any questions I did have. He answered.
Okay.
I'm doing a little bit of reading right now on the place.
So
yeah.
So
it's in the center New York region of the area. Now, I apologize for not knowing the history of the place, but I sometimes do not know histories of places. I just go, and it's like a local park for us to go to. But Joe is really into this stuff, and he knows all the parks in the area. So,
but the question I was trying to ask earlier, if I may,
yeah.
does this area have a history of other types of paranormal phenomenon, such as UFOs or haunted locations, stuff like that? That you're aware of?
I'm not aware of any because of the simple fact that it's state land. So anything that would be reported would be kept confidential. However, I've been told that it's a good sky viewing. I've been told by people that they have seen, stuff in the sky. However, like I said, it's state land. So if somebody reports something publicly or to the rangers, then unless they see me or Joe or want to talk to us and say, hey, we just got this, I won't know of stories. However, I do know a few people that have had something try to land on their tent. Another person was driving here at night with their RV, and since something ran across in front of them really fast, he thought it was a bear. Me and you and everybody on our podcast tonight knows it probably was not a bear. Bears would not have do that I know of, or if they do that, they would probably have been hit by this thing, by the RV. So I don't believe it was an RV. I also don't believe that what they're saying is false, because no one believed him when he made the report. One of the rangers or whatever the staff member of the park is, he has told me there's been some reports, and he basically was laughing about it, which I really didn't think it was too funny. However, some of those reports were of shadows and people getting scared on the path and not wanting to hike in a certain area. And I've been on that path, and it is a little creepy up there, and it is where I heard that noise. But other than that, I don't think, I've heard of anything. I've never heard of any UFOs or abductions. Now, I've heard in Shenango Forks there's been a couple people that believe they were abducted. However, the two people are afraid to speak to me. I did talk with one of them about it, but very briefly. And like we said the other night on my podcast, maybe there's other things interfering with that. You know what I mean? And it's very sad if that is the case.
Yeah, that it is. That it definitely is. It's time for us to take a break, but when we come back, let's chat some more. And maybe you can give us an update of what's transpired since over the break. And is that okay with you?
That is okay, and I'm going to try to see if I can send you my video that I just made. I would have to see if anything came on it, but it is. I just made a quick video before you called, and we're attempting to go. Joe is attempting to try to show me another area. I wish I could get down there with my equipment and do more, but it's an extremely large path on the way down, and I don't feel like falling in the water. But
well, I'll tell you what. We'll go ahead. We're going to go ahead and go to break. But when we come back, we're going to get into that. We'll dive right into that, and I'll have we'll see if we can get that video sent to my Facebook Messenger, and if we can, I can pull it up and share it with everybody. At any rate, you're listening to Project Stargate Friends Research. I'm your host, Mark Brenner, along with Jake Malcolm and Greg Shipp. And today we have Brother Wade from the Brother Wade podcast. Please check out his website, which is what is it? I am Brother Wade. Is that what it was?
www.iambrotherwade.com. We just redid the front page. And as promised for you, will probably put a link up to our supporters for you on your podcast on our supporter page. But that is where you can go. It is being worked on this week to update all of our new, including your podcast. About every 2 weeks, I try to redo it so it's new and fresh. So that would have my new stuff on it by, I think, the weekend. We should be having everything up there.
All right.
So if they go up there and it looks a little plain, it's because I don't know too much about websites, but I tried to do my best to give you a website that has all the information, and that would be very presentable to people. Not in the field for education purposes, more or less.
All right, man. Well, we're going to go to a break, and you're listening to Project Stargate Friends Research, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Project Stargate Friends Research. We're here with Jake and Greg and our special guest, Brother Wade from the Brother Wade podcast, live on location in a area synonymous for paranormal phenomenon. Brother Wade, why don't you give us something? Tell us where you're going now.
We're going up to the swimming area, and the swimming area in the Great Hall then leads up another path to Oak Island, they call it. It goes to the island where I and my daughter went up there to show her things when she was very small, and she got scared up there hearing noises. And Joe was just reminding me that it could be the same noises that I heard that worried me while going up there. I was up there by myself.
Wow.
I had kind of wanted to wander up there. My friend said, "No, I don't want to wander up there." And I said, "Well, I'm doing it." Those moments. So
I think you cut out a little bit. I'm sorry.
Well, my signal, but yeah, the Oak Island is an island in the middle of this place, and it is one of the more creepier places if you want to get the feeling of something watching you and something there. But when I was walking up there, like I said, I heard growling. I heard.
Wow.
Now I don't believe it could be an animal. I've asked people about it, and everybody's informed me that no, it wasn't a cat. And
You
a
should do
bear
some
wouldn't have.
EVP sessions.
Yeah, I do have it somewhere as a recording somewhere on my phone and on my other EVPs, but everything's at home. It's categorized somewhere. I'm in the process of getting. I've getting an area where I might need an external hard drive to keep everything and transfer everything over to an external hard drive. I think it is time to do that rather than keeping it on CD or in my 2 computers. I have 2 computers full of stuff.
Wow.
Now I'm trying to attempt to take a picture of this place because it is going to be very hard to get up there and get a signal. However, I am taking a picture of the area and the island itself over there from where I am here. So when you see this picture, it is the picture of the island and everything that is kind of here. And if anybody is fishing, I don't know if anybody likes to fish. It's great for trout fishing in this area and other pan fishing.
That's cool.
And there's other birds and wildlife here that could be food sources for just about any animal that wanted to eat. As we all know, that Bigfoot could be a carnivorous creature. There's not a lack of food supply, and there's not a lack of housing for it. The only thing that would worry me about having it here is the people. It might, most animals like that don't want to be bothered. However, if it's been here for years, it would have known that already, or it goes somewhere where it doesn't have to worry about that.
What do you think Bigfoot is? Do you think it's an animal? Do you think it's an interdimensional entity of some kind? Because there's a lot of paranormal phenomenon associated with about half the sightings. What do you think? I mean, what's your opinion?
I think I have 2 opinions. One, that it is some kind of a humanoid creature. I don't know if it's ape or not. You would call it ape, but it could be some kind of a humanoid. And I also think an elemental, possibly. I have a good friend who is in England and also tours Ireland and the other places in Europe and Germany. And he and his wife got into a big conversation about trolls. And he described to me what a troll was and asked if we have them here. And he described exactly what a Bigfoot looked like. The only thing that would be different is the fact that trolls hunt and eat people. Do harm to people when they can, if they can, which I've never known a Bigfoot to do. However, many of us have heard stories of Bigfoots attacking tents, and I imagine that if you got close or did something or tried to harm it or something, that it would try to do something to you, obviously.
Well, we know they throw rocks. We know they throw rocks a lot.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
Actually, right here, this is pretty interesting. On June 11th, there's actually a story of a man here in North Georgia who was supposedly charged by a Sasquatch while on a fire road out in the woods. So it's interesting that we would bring that up about them being docile. This is the first instance I've heard of this, but basically the long and the short of it is the man was in the woods, got lost, thought a bear was stalking him. Eventually, whatever this thing was started running, charging at him from the distance where he could hear branches breaking and everything like that. He turned on his cell phone light and shined it and saw something bipedal covered with hair, and it said you could see the hand reaching up to grab a limb about 10 feet up in the air. So that was interesting, but as soon as the light came on, the thing turned and ran for its life.
And just to add to this real quick, I am standing under a tree and seeing if I can grab it. It's 10 feet up. I bet you if I was jumping, I could. Other than that, I could not grab it. Now, whoever was, I don't know the guy who was just speaking's name, but that was in Georgia, you said?
Correct.
That was Jake.
This is Jake. Yes, this was in Suchess, Georgia, on June 11th of this year.
And he was in the woods minding his own business. What I call it the setup would be, what was he doing? A lot of animals, such as Borneo, chimpanzees, gorillas, will give a charge and then never actually make contact with you. Bulls do it, buffalo do it, elk
Sure.
do it, moose do it. Because they want to get you away from them, and they don't want to fight. They don't want to bother you. They want you away from them, and they'll do it in any way they can.
Sure,
However,
absolutely.
when something is reaching up for something, if it was reaching up for a limb, it was doing what they call a aggressive posturing, which means it's trying to stretch its body out to fight. That's why bears stand completely up and put their arms to their side, because they want to size you up to what they are.
Sure.
And they also want to hurt you. So they're going to try to figure it out really quickly before they do something.
Sure.
Because if you remember, animals do not want to fail if they want to hunt prey. They also do not want to fail at defending themselves. So they're going to make sure they can do it.
And actually, another interesting note that they put in here, as I read about this, was as he was being charged, it sounds like that he was being kind of circled in and then sort of being charged as he was backing up. It states that he started yelling, "Hey bear, go bear, get going," and beat it, but the thing just kept approaching. So whatever it was not scared of him yelling or making noise to get it away.
Well, not to be funny when I say this, but it is kind of funny. Bears know they're bears, perhaps, and would have turned around and ran away.
Right.
But I don't really know what you would do if you saw something charging you and not know what it is.
Right.
I have experience working with animals, and I can tell you that if an animal wants to do something, it's going to do it, and it's tough.
Absolutely.
You're not going to. Man was not made, and most animals. The second part of this is, man was not made to defend themselves against animals. And the second part is, animals attack us differently than they do other animals. So if its hands were reached out, it probably was going to grab his head, because animals know we fight with our head. And if you draw a line down to your belt buckle area, that is the area most animals attack you.
Sure.
That's because our arms cannot move very well if our chest is ripped apart.
Sure.
And our faces can't see.
Brother Wade, I need to interject real quick. I got your photo, those three pictures that you sent us. I got them pulled up. Can you guys see, Greg,
Yep.
Jake, can you see them?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm looking at, and again, I have one of those three photos pulled up, and I'm seeing a beautiful view of a lake, and you're standing on the island, correct?
I am standing away from the island. I cannot get to the island. They got some cones and other stuff up there, and I don't really want to trespass if they're getting ready for the 4th of July stuff. I'm sending another picture to you so you can know. We're going up to the other campground as well, but I'm going to send you another picture to show you the park setting of this place, more or less, so you can see now. Some of that setting over there is beach area, park setting area. Go ahead. So it's what do you call it? I'm losing a word for it. It's the part that the people that if you were touring or coming up here as a guest to the park, that's the area you would be in. Now, if you're a hiker like Joe and you want to see nature like me, the other areas are where you'll go. So it's a two different section park all at the same thing. So if something comes out from those woods to cross over to the next section, they're crossing right in front of where families would be playing and stuff.
And I'm looking at this one picture, and I'm seeing what looks like a lodge or something. And there's
they're the buildings that are for weddings. They're buildings for bathrooms. They're buildings for. I just wanted to show you how the park is laid out with buildings and stuff too. So it's not just wilderness area. There's also parts for parking and.
A playground. I see. Here's one with a playground, and it looks very scenic. It looks like real pretty, like a nice place to go take your family. Here's another one where it looks like it's got two little outhouses or two little cabins or something, two sheds
The
or
cabin
something.
up on the top is known for weddings. It's known for parties. It's known for the state to bring, I guess, the handicapped people, or it's more of a mental health program they have. They bring them down here and they can enjoy swimming with them and other things. But what I'm trying to say is this is a park for public as well as a nature park. So if there is a Bigfoot and whatever is here is coexisting very well with the public. It's not interfering with the public. And most of the sightings have been in the other section that I was in, what I call the nature section. And, it's very unique how the park is laid out.
It's very pretty and serene out there. It looks very serene and peaceful. It's hard to imagine something creepy roaming around the woods. What do you think, Greg?
Well, there's different sections that are very, very creepy.
No doubt about that.
In the nature section.
Beautiful state parks in Georgia. My gosh.
I think I hear
Joe
Joe
was
saying
telling-
something.
Yeah, Joe was telling me that you have wonderful state parks in Georgia.
Oh, we do. Tell them we certainly do, and
yeah.
I've hiked in almost all of them.
Yeah. Now here's a question for a hiker like yourself. Do you ever get, when you're hiking, the feeling like something is watching you, but you're not in danger? It's just viewing you, like maybe you're a TV show, and you're getting like birds or something watching you.
Yes.
Okay. If you took that feeling and all of a sudden it changed to, oh, I should not be on this path, I need to go the other way immediately. That is the feeling I got before I heard those noises of growling. Now, I'm kind of stubborn and said, well, I'm going to be on this path anyways. But that's how I know it's probably not a bear or something, because I don't know. I've never seen a bear in the wild. But I imagine that bear would have either got me or ran the other way.
Wow.
Yeah.
We don't have too many bears. Bear, but not like the mountain.
Yeah, they're not.
You can give him you can put the phone up close to him if he wants to tell us something.
Well, he's letting you know about the bears between our bears here and mountain bears, like found in the Adirondacks and found in the other mountain regions of New York. Which Joe is my good friend who did take me on my Adirondack trip.
Oh, wow.
I went.
Have you been up here to tour? Your name again is, have you been up?
My name is Mark, sir.
Have you been up here to New York to tour?
I haven't been that far. I've hiked the Appalachian Trail up to Virginia. That's the farthest north I've hiked.
All right. And you've heard of the Barefoot Sisters then, probably.
I'm sorry, can you speak closer to the phone? I'm sorry, sir.
No, Barefoot. That's something amazing.
He's talking about the Barefoot Sisters that were hiking up to Maine on the from Maine to Georgia.
My dad told my father he's even much bigger hiker than I am. I think he was telling me about that one time. My dad wants to finish hiking the whole AT, and I tell him, go out there, carry your fanny pack, carry a personal locator beacon, and carry a pistol, just to be on the safe side. You never know what you're going to encounter out there in the woods. You just never know.
Right.
Well, you brought up something very, very unique. The woods we have here, you never get the feeling that you need a pistol or a knife. You never get the feeling, you don't get that feeling here. You get a relaxed, like you can bring your family here.
That's cool.
You a bobcat, maybe, Harvey. Not as wild as
Well, about
Yeah. If
Joe
nothing
said I
else,
would love to do a
for the wildlife alone, I would still want to carry like a locator beacon in a small firearm, just like a revolver, something low weight grade like that, just in case something like a bobcat or God forbid something tries to tear my head off. I just as a safety precaution.
Watch it. Watch. Stop. Oh.
At any rate, so are you closer to the island, or are you past that area where you heard the growl?
Yeah, we went past the island because we tried the two entrances and they're blocked off. I do apologize. I mean, I could go past the barriers, but I don't know if I don't want to, do any wrong, something wrong. I don't want to like go trespassing somewhere and alert something,
Yeah, we don't. That's a big rule. If you're investigating, make sure you are not breaking the law or you're not trespassing. And also, be safe also.
Yeah, and that's another thing. I don't know if they're blocking it off because the path was changed or maybe it flooded out or something. So I'm gonna obey the sign here. And so, but I sent you some pictures of the island, the reverse sides of the island there from the one angle. So hopefully that would give you a good description of what kind of island it is. And unfortunately, I can't go on it, and unfortunately, we can't get up in there. However, I wouldn't mind future maybe making an entire video of one end to the other of the island. It probably would be a 30-minute video.
That would be pretty cool.
Take too long doing it.
You should. You definitely should. Now, do you have a YouTube channel also, correct?
What'd you do? All right. So we're on another road.
Do you have a YouTube channel, Brother Wade?
I do. It's under my full name. I'm trying to get the other Brother Wade YouTube channel working, but somebody decided to report me because we had music in the background of my video. But I can try to send you a link. If you go to my website, there's 3 different links to Facebook. There's links to all of that stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna when I publish this podcast tonight or tomorrow morning, I'm going to I was gonna ask you if I could put a link to your website, and so that way our listeners and viewers can see listen to your cool EVP sessions that you've posted and a lot more, and I have access to your catalog of podcasts.
Yes, I will. I just need another week to do it because my schedule is changing next week to a certain degree. So hopefully I'll be able to get all that up by the weekend in between my work schedule, my regular work schedule.
Well, we're gonna have to collaborate again sometime. This has been great, man.
Yeah.
And
would the other two individuals, if I send them something, because I have a lot of questions about what I see up here too, like hair samples and tree rubbings, and I've even tried tree knocking, and I'm wondering if those things would work here, or is it too echoey? Because I tried it in one area and I could hear an echo to it.
I'll tell you what we'll do for you. How about this? How about I get you 2 experts in cryptozoology, especially at Bigfoot, and bring you back on the program again, and we'll bring some of my trusted friends from the Sasquatch Encounter Brigade, Johnny Two Bear, and maybe Angie Williamson. I'm gonna try to get at least one or not both of those people on here, and we can have a conversation about cryptids.
So okay, that would be wonderful because I have seen some things up here that I don't know if it's bear. I don't know if it's deer. I don't know if a Bigfoot would do it. I don't know if they do a bending of trees that way. I have seen trees snapped on the tops of them. However, I was told if a deer decides to charge a tree or something, they could bend it too. So
who knows? We really appreciate you, Brother Wade, for being with us
Yeah.
today. I enjoyed the conversation. I will be in touch, and very soon we'll get something going with that. Okay, we'll do some cryptid round table.
That would be great, and I could get some other areas too. Maybe we could do other areas in New York this way too. It would be great.
Absolutely, I've enjoyed talking to you.
And I thank you for having me tonight. It's been a pleasure to be on your show, and it was a pleasure to have you on mine.
Absolutely, and I'd love to come back again sometime. That was fun. I hope maybe I'll get to know your audience a little bit. I'd love to. That's a big part of the experience for me.
Okay.
All right, Brother Wade. Thank you again for being with us, and I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Good night, my friend. Y'all be safe. All right. That was Brother Wade from the Brother Wade podcast, live on a location where he was doing an investigation, and told us a little bit about the history of the area. Guys, I want to start with you, Greg. What was your impressions? What do you think? What did you think about that area he was talking about and what we discussed?
Well, it's really close to where I live, not too far. So I'm actually someplace I'd like to go visit, do my own research.
Yeah, that would be. What about you, Bob? What about you, brother?
I thought it was really interesting. I would definitely like to know more of the background and maybe some happenings or events that would have happened in the forest to give it such the reputation that it does have. So that's what I would like to know.
Yeah, I really I had a great, like I said, I had a great time on a show. We had a great conversation. We had another great conversation tonight, and I really enjoyed it, man.
It's a good time.
Yeah, good times. I think it's time to wrap it up for the day. I think we had a great conversation we had today. Had a great time with you guys as usual, and we'll be back. We'll have Brother Wade back on here again pretty soon, and got some other things that I'm working on and cooking up in the background, and Greg's also working on some things, and I'm just real excited about what we have coming on in the future, and hopefully Jeremy and Kelly can join us sometime soon. I'm really hopeful. But anyways, thank you guys for being with me. I enjoyed hanging out with y'all again. Okay.
It was a good time, Mark.
All right. You're listening to Project Stargate Friends Research. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like and subscribe button down below and share it with your friends. Don't be afraid to share it on your social media. And we thank you very much for watching and listening, and hope you have a safe and blessed evening. Thank you.